Do you know how to create YouTube intro hooks people can't skip? Not sure? I do. Proof? Okay, I'm not going to let you click away in the first 30 seconds. Oh, you probably just looked at the video timer? Sounds good. Because now your brain wants to see if I can actually pull this off. And that's exactly how intro hooks work. Look, the intro hook decides almost everything. Not your camera, not your editing, not even your topic, just an intro. A weak intro can kill a great video, and a killer intro can make an average video blow up. Now check the video timer again. Around 43 seconds? Challenge completed. My hook worked for you. But don't leave yet, because that was just the hook. The actual intro is still being built. Right now, several videos on my second channel have crossed 1 million views, leading to a revenue figure you can't yet imagine now. And honestly, most of them would have completely died if the opening wasn't strong enough. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact 5-step framework top creators use to make insanely engaging intros on YouTube. And it doesn't matter what niche you're in, and we're not just talking theory. We'll break down viral intros from creators like MrBeast, Mark Rober, Ali Abdaal, and more, so you can actually see these principles in action. So, should we start now? Oh wait, I forgot to tell you one thing. The intro is officially complete now. And you're still watching. Which means the hook worked, and the intro retained you. And today, I'm going to teach you the same technique, exactly. How to create YouTube intro hooks people can't skip. Let's get into it. If you ever look at a YouTube retention graph, you'll notice something brutal. Right at the beginning, there's usually a massive drop. That means most viewers decide whether they're staying or leaving in the intro itself. Now imagine if you could reduce that drop-off even a little. Your entire video retention instantly improves. So the question is, how do you stop viewers from leaving? Well, MrBeast explained this perfectly.
Your title and thumbnail set expectations, and at the very beginning of the video, to minimize drop-off, you want to assure them that those expectations are being met.
Your title and thumbnail create expectations in the viewer's mind, and the second the video starts, you need to deliver on those expectations immediately. Here's what I mean. MrBeast has a video titled, "I spent 7 days buried alive." The thumbnail shows him inside a coffin underground. Title matched with thumbnail, right? Now look at how the video opens.
I'm gonna spend the next 7 days buried alive under 20,000 pounds of dirt.
Within the first few seconds, he's already inside the coffin, and the very first line directly reinforces the title.
I'm gonna spend the next 7 days buried alive.
The viewer clicked for one thing and instantly got exactly what they came for. Did you notice how fast that happened? Just 5 seconds. That's why they stay. Same thing with creators like Mike Shake. His title, "How Dangerous is a Slingshot?" Thumbnail, him firing a slingshot. And literally in the first second of the intro, you see him using the slingshot and also saying his video title words.
How dangerous is a slingshot?
Again, instant expectation match. Mark Rober does this too. Video title, "World's Largest Jello Pool." Thumbnail, Mark swimming in Jello. Video starts.
This is the world's first ever actual pool of Jello.
Boom. Giant Jello pool immediately on screen with Mark inside, saying, "This is a world first ever actual pool of Jello." Notice this? Everything promised in the title and thumbnail was delivered immediately, again within the first 5 seconds. The point is not to perfectly recreate the thumbnail. The point is to reassure viewers that, yep, you clicked the right video. That alone can massively improve retention. Once you meet expectations, the next thing you need is context. It's basically, why does this video matter? Why should the viewer care? Let's go back to Mark Rober's Jello pool video.
This is the world's first ever actual pool of Jell-O. And while it may look simple, it's actually a very difficult engineering challenge to pull off. As proof, if you Google Jell-O pool, you will either find bad CGI or a handful of videos of people who tried to do this, but it really didn't work out.
After showing the giant Jell-O pool, Mark explains something important. He says building a real Jell-O pool is actually a difficult engineering challenge. And if you search it online, most examples are fake CGI videos or failed attempts. Now suddenly the video has stakes. It's not just, look at this cool thing. Now it becomes, can this actually be done? That's a context. It gives meaning to the experiment. And notice something important here. Mark doesn't explain everything in the intro. Because if you dump all the information up front, the intro becomes slow and boring. You only need enough context to make viewers emotionally invested. MrBeast does this incredibly well too. Let's see how he opens his video titled, I Adopted 100 Dogs.
In this video, we're gonna help over 100 different stray dogs find a loving home.
Noticed? He quickly explains that many of those dogs were abandoned or rescued from kill shelters. That one sentence completely changes the emotional weight of the video. Now the audience cares. Creating context is actually pretty simple. Let's say your video is how to stay focused while studying. Think once, what problems does your audience struggle with? Distractions, procrastination, noise, phone addiction. Now you can create a simple context line like, most students don't struggle because they're lazy. They struggle because distractions are literally everywhere. That instantly makes the topic feel relevant. Now let's address the most important part of an intro. Create curiosity. Look, if viewers already know everything, or they are yet less interested, why would they keep watching? So, your job is to create a question in their mind that can only be answered by watching the video, the complete video. Couldn't get the point. Let's go back to the Jell-O pool example. After immediately meeting the viewer's expectations set by the title and thumbnail, and then quickly establishing context, Mark says something like,
This is the world's first ever actual pool of Jell-O. And while it may look simple, it's actually a very difficult engineering challenge to pull off. As proof, if you Google Jell-O pool, you will either find bad CGI or a handful of videos of people who tried to do this, but it really didn't work out. So today, we're gonna answer possibly the longest standing question from my childhood. What would it be like to actually belly flop in a pool of Jell-O?
We're finally going to answer the question I've had since childhood. What would it actually feel like to belly flop into a giant pool of Jell-O? And just like that, curiosity kicks in. Now the viewer needs to know the answer, and that curiosity is what pulls them through the entire video. That's the power of curiosity gaps. And there are tons of ways to create them. You can tease steps without revealing them. You can show a crazy moment from later in the video, then cut away before the payoff. Abdaal does this well in one of his productivity videos.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are talking about the GPS method that will drastically improve your chances of achieving literally any goal that you set your mind to.
He says, in this video, we're talking about the GPS method that can dramatically increase your chances of achieving any goal. Okay, what's the GPS method? And now they keep watching. The best intros usually stack multiple curiosity gaps. Look at MrBeast's video, World's Most Dangerous Trap.
I built a giant death trap, which is just one of many traps we've built. And for every trap this contestant survives, he wins $100,000. But if he fails one, he loses everything.
Notice this, within the first 10 seconds, he teases multiple traps, risks, consequences, and challenges. Each one creates another unanswered question. And the more curiosity loops you create, the harder it becomes for viewers to leave. Okay, a quick question here. What's one intro mistake you think kills retention the fastest? Boring intros? Long self-introductions? Or too much explaining? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious what you've noticed. Okay, even if your intro has expectations, context, and curiosity, there's still one problem. You're not the only creator talking about this topic. So why should viewers watch you specifically? Sounds fair, right? That's where differentiators come in. A differentiator is anything that makes your video feel more credible, unique, valuable, or interesting than the alternatives. For example, Iman Gaji opens one video by saying,
"So look, I've made tens of millions of dollars by the age of 22, and I've also spent millions of dollars just on my personal life."
Immediately, his advice about money feels more credible. Now the audience is thinking, okay, this guy actually has real results. And that alone becomes a strong differentiator. Why watch anyone else when this feels proven? Now think like a normal viewer. You search how to get rich on YouTube and see hundreds of videos. Then, one title stands out: Best Purchases to Be Rich in Your 20s. Instantly, it feels different, more practical, more experience-driven, not another generic motivational video. And right after clicking, Iman shows up with claims proving he's actually rich and knows what he's talking about. At that point, most viewers aren't leaving. Ali Abdaal does something similar.
Alright, so over the past 10 years, I have read basically all of the books around productivity and time management.
He casually mentions that he's read practically every major book on productivity and time management. And instantly, that becomes a powerful differentiator. Not a few books, all of them. Plus, it perfectly matches the title, How I Manage My Time. Again, credibility. The viewer stops seeing him as just another YouTuber, but as an actual expert in the field, and that's the point where viewer found him convinced to watch the full video. But differentiators don't always have to be expertise. Sometimes any extraordinary phenomena, in any form, itself becomes the differentiator. See, what Mr. Who's the Boss saying,
I'm about to spend $20,000 in the next 5 minutes buying the most minimalist tech on the planet.
The moment viewers hear that, their brain automatically assigns more value to the content. Because big effort signals importance. And your differentiator can literally be anything. Your storytelling, your editing style, your personality, your experience, your access, your challenge, your budget. Anything that makes viewers think, okay, this is different. And honestly, that's what this entire channel is about. Helping creators make videos people actually want to watch, without sounding fake, robotic, or overly corporate. So, if you're into that kind of content, consider subscribing. This is the last, not the least step most creators completely ignore: sound design. And honestly, sound design is like salt in food. When it's there, nobody notices. But when it's missing, everything feels off. Let's take this video from MrBeast. Keep the title and thumbnail in mind first. The whole thing has a royal, luxury vibe. Now watch the intro carefully, and really pay attention to the sound design.
In this video, we are going to be eating $100,000 golden ice cream,
I'm blown away. This is so good.
$5,000 mac and cheese,
This mac and cheese is magnificent.
$30,000 banana Foster,
Ooh, that's incredible.
Notice the grand orchestral music right from the start. It instantly matches the luxury theme of the video. Then the cash register sound effects whenever prices pop up on screen. The reactions and remarks while tasting each dish. The risers building anticipation between cuts. None of this is random. If the video is about luxury, the music feels cinematic and expensive. If there's tension, the soundtrack builds suspense. If money appears on screen, the sound effects reinforce it. All of this shapes emotion subconsciously. Now imagine this for a second. Would the same intro feel nearly as engaging without the sound design? Definitely not. Here, I highly recommend rewatching the intro of this video from the beginning. Do you know how to create YouTube intro hooks people can't skip? Not sure? I do. Proof? Okay, I'm not going to let you click away in the first 30 seconds. Oh, you probably just looked at the video timer? Sounds good. because now your brain wants to see if I can actually pull this off. Pay close attention to the background music, sound effects, their placement, and the way they're engineered into the scenes. Now I'm going to play the exact same intro again, but this time with the background music and sound effects completely muted. Nothing else has changed. Do you know how to create YouTube intro hooks people can't skip? Not sure? I do. Proof? Okay, I'm not going to let you click away in the first 30 seconds. Oh, you probably just looked at the video timer? Sounds good. Because now your brain wants to see if I can actually pull this off. Notice the difference? That's the power of sound design. Music literally controls how viewers feel while watching your video. And this is where most creators struggle. Finding the right music track and sound effects that perfectly match every scene, especially in the intro, isn't easy. For that, I personally use Epidemic Sound. Here, you can search for tracks and sound effects by genre, mood, theme, artist, and more. Honestly, I think it's one of the best platforms out there for video creators and editors who want their videos to feel more cinematic, professional, retention-focused, and ultimately generate better results and revenue. It has thousands of high-quality music tracks and a massive library of sound effects, all copyright safe and ready to use without worrying about claims. If you find a track you like, you can easily discover similar ones using the Find Similar option. It also lets you adjust mood and length of any track to match the different parts of your video. And more interestingly, you can even rearrange different sections of a track to better fit your edit. If you want to try Epidemic Sound, you can find its link with an unbelievable discount code in the description. Okay, all the 5 steps are done. Now before you start copying this framework word for word, there are a few important things you need to understand. First, the order of these steps is not fixed. Sometimes curiosity comes before context. Sometimes the differentiator comes first. What matters is creating a natural flow that feels smooth and story-driven. Second, not every intro needs all 5 steps. These are tools, not strict rules. But the more intentionally you deploy them, the easier it becomes to write strong intros consistently. Third, never overpromise. And if you do make a big promise, make sure the video over-delivers. That's how you build trust long-term. Alright, now let's do a quick validation. This is the exact intro I used for this video, from the very beginning. This was what made you stay and watch up to this point. Right? Don't you want to see how all these 5 steps were actually implemented and how they worked on you in real time? So here it is. I began with, do you know how to create YouTube intro hooks people can't skip? Instead of wasting time with greetings or setup, I immediately jumped straight into the core topic, intro hook. And more importantly, it aligns directly with the title and thumbnail, almost word for word. So, you clicked for one thing and instantly got exactly what you expected. Here, I successfully met your expectations, the step 1, in just the first 3 seconds. What comes next? Okay, I'm not going to let you click away in the first 30 seconds. At this point, the hook wasn't just an introduction anymore. It became a live challenge for you. Here, step 3 starts. Curiosity. Because now your brain automatically starts asking, wait, can he actually pull this off? And then I pushed that curiosity even further by directly mentioning the video timer. Oh, you probably just looked at the video timer? That wasn't random. I was deliberately pulling your attention back into the moment, making you aware that you're still here, still watching, still involved in the challenge. Subconsciously, it creates a simple thought in your mind. You've already stayed this long, might as well keep going. And that's the curiosity shift, very important. Because the strongest hooks don't just deliver information, they make the viewer participate mentally. After that, I moved into context. Look, the intro hook decides almost everything. Not your camera, not your editing, not even your topic, just an intro. Here, I explained why this topic actually matters for you in the first place. Why should you even care about intro hooks? Because a weak intro can destroy even a great video of you. That's the context. Now another important thing happened here. Now check the video timer again. Around 43 seconds? Challenge completed. My hook worked for you. Notice this line, challenge completed. The hook worked. This acted like a mini payoff. You realized, wait, I actually stayed. And then immediately after giving that payoff, I opened another loop, switched to curiosity again. But don't leave yet, because that was just the hook. The actual intro is still being built. Now curiosity gets refreshed again. This is extremely important for retention, because good intros don't rely on just one curiosity gap. They keep creating new ones. Then comes the differentiator, the fourth step. Right now, several videos on my second channel have crossed 1 million views, leading to a revenue figure you can't yet imagine now. This line signaled to you about my experience and results orientation. It forced you to think, okay, this person has actually tested this stuff in the real world. And instantly, the advice started feeling more credible. Then later, I again reinforced the payoff by saying, so, should we start now? Oh wait, I forgot to tell you one thing. The intro is officially complete now. And you're still watching. Which means the hook worked, and the intro retained you. This made you subconsciously acknowledge the success of the hook. Now finally, the fifth step, sound design. You have witnessed its magic already. And because of just this intro, you are still with me. Got it? I hope you've subscribed by now. Just a quick goodbye for now, but before you go, if you're making shorts alongside your long-form content, or planning to, you should watch this next video. Because getting clicks is one thing, but making people not swipe away is a completely different game. And that's exactly where most shorts fail. That video will help you understand why your shorts stop getting pushed, even when the content itself is good. I'll see you there.